If owning your boat feels harder after 10 years, insurers notice, surveyors notice, and resale buyers definitely notice. But some sailboats quietly avoid that trap. Today, we're looking at 5 sailboats that age with you, not against you when after 50. One avoids drama by never surprising anyone. Another builds trust through sheer durability. One stays easy by being stronger than it ever needs to be. Another relies on long-term factory support. And one simply forgives imperfect ownership better than most. By the end, you'll know which kind of easy actually fits you. We begin with a kind of ease that doesn't try to impress you. That boat is the Island Packet 35. Built between 1988 and 1994, with around 180 boats launched, it's no longer in production, yet it remains a quiet legend, supported by a seasoned owner community that truly trusts the design. Designer Robert Perry once said, "The Island Packet blends modern hull design with the forgiveness of a long keel, creating a boat that's easy to handle and largely takes care of itself." Structurally, this is a serious cruiser. A solid fiberglass hull and thick composite deck mean fewer long-term worries about hull issues or expensive surprises. The layout is genuinely comfortable. From a well-equipped galley to many berths enough for 7 people, workable for a couple, and still practical for a small family. Yes, it's not a fast upwind racer. Its moderate displacement favors steady motion, lower fatigue, and confidence on longer passages. Ownership stays reasonable. Maintenance costs typically fall in the $6,000 to $15,000 range, depending on use and upkeep history. Just don't confuse it with the Island Packet 350. That's a very different price category. You're not buying a 350 for $100,000. But that budget can still put you into a well-kept Island Packet 35 with plenty of life ahead of it. That said, if you value speed, light air performance, or modern interior styling, this won't be your boat. Even years after purchase, the Island Packet 35 delivers something increasingly rare. A calm, forgiving boat that becomes easier to appreciate with every season you sail. If you've owned an Island Packet, or a similar full-keel cruiser, for many years, what part of ownership actually became easier over time? Your sharing will be very helpful to our sailing community. If the Island Packet 35 is about comfort that quietly earns your trust, the Pacific Seacraft 34 takes that trust and builds it for the long haul. Introduced as a true blue water sailboat in the mid-1980s, it quickly earned a reputation, especially among older sailors, for durability, self-sufficiency, and comfort on longer passages. Its canoe stern delivers a smooth, predictable motion in a wide range of sea conditions, even when sailed by owners well past 50. Long-term owners often say the boat has outlasted their expectations. The hull is solid, heavily reinforced fiberglass, finished with vinyl ester in the outer laminate to resist osmotic blistering, a foundation designed to age well, mile after mile. Below the waterline, the setup is quietly modern, a long fin keel with a skeg-hung rudder, a combination that balances control with forgiveness and rarely creates ownership drama. With a displacement of around 13,500 pounds, Pacific Seacraft 34 is known for steady performance and a comfortable motion under sail. In stronger winds, the cutter rig becomes a real advantage, allowing precise sail control with moderate-sized head sails without increasing workload. It works for coastal cruising or liveaboard use without forcing owners into major system upgrades. While purchase prices typically range from $70,000 to $120,000, resale remains strong among buyers who understand the design. Predictable long-term costs, sales, rigging every 10 to 15 years, and routine teak maintenance are manageable and often easier to justify over time. It'll become one of the most stable long-term assets in your sailing and retirement plan. But first, I need your support. This is my new channel, and I'm on the way to reaching the first 500 subscribers. Your support means a great deal to me. Hit subscribe now and get ready for destination sailing simpler. You won't be disappointed. Thank you very much. The next kind of easy comes from knowing the boat can take more than you ever will. That boat is the Valiant 40. This is a design that remains easy to own even 10 years in, not because it's simple, but because it's built to endure. The hull is solid fiberglass, laid up with enough thickness to tolerate loads that would quickly stress lighter boats. But strength alone isn't what defines the Valiant 40. Its fin keel and keel-hung rudder create a sailing character that's safe, predictable, and confidence-inspiring offshore. For experienced sailors, that means excellent tracking, less strain on the autopilot, fewer failures, and lower electrical load on long passages. For newer sailors, or those sailing well past 50, that same stability turns small mistakes into non-events instead of emergencies. Unlike many luxury boats of its era, the Valiant 40 prioritizes function over decoration. Fewer cosmetic elements means fewer things that age poorly after a decade. The mast placement and rigging create a sail plan that's adaptable across nearly any condition without increasing workload. That reputation isn't just folklore. In 2015, the Valiant 40 was inducted into the Sailboat Hall of Fame, largely for the same reasons long-term owners already knew. If the initial investment feels intimidating, the numbers are often more reasonable than expected. With around $100,000, it's still possible to own a well-kept Valiant 40. Just be aware that early models from 1976 to 1981 may show blistering due to older resin systems. Later boats resolve this completely. What it won't give you is a low dockside workload. Systems are straightforward, but they reward steady attention. When a boat delivers safety, predictability, and long-term value like this, even offshore sailing starts to feel far more manageable. Before we continue, a quick thought. If you've ever wondered why two similar boats can feel completely different after a decade of ownership, we broke that down in another video. It's not about size or price. It's about design choices that quietly increase workload over time. Here is for you. Another kind of easy comes from predictability and from a builder that still stands behind the boat. That brings us to the Hallberg Rossi 35, also known as the Rasmus 35. This is a boat that ages with you. Ownership rarely brings unpleasant surprises. Both the hull and deck are reinforced fiberglass, giving the Hallberg Rossi its well-known strength and seakeeping. The heavier hull and moderate displacement produce a steady motion, reducing fatigue on longer passages, especially for older sailors. Hallberg Rossi is known for building to one uncompromising standard. Materials and hardware are selected for longevity, not fashion. A defining feature is the rigid Scandinavian-style windshield. Unlike canvas Dodgers, it holds up offshore and protects cockpit instruments and electronics season after season. Long-term ownership is helped by engine flexibility. Many well-kept HR-35s have already been repowered with modern engines like Yanmar or Beta Marine. Quiet, efficient, and easy to maintain. A strong hull, a dependable engine, and systems built to last keep maintenance demands modest over time. And that level of quality remains accessible. Well-kept examples can still be found below 6 figures, often around $80,000. One note for you. Earlier teak decks were mechanically fastened and can develop slow leaks. Later production moved to vacuum-glued teak decks, eliminating mechanical fasteners and significantly reducing leak risk. In more recent years, Hallberg-Rossi has gone a step further, offering high-quality synthetic PU teak on some models, visually close to natural teak, cooler underfoot, and essentially maintenance-free. For sailors who value predictability and long-term peace of mind, the Hallberg-Rossi 35 delivers a kind of easy that simply doesn't age out. And now there's another kind of easy, one that doesn't come from uniformity, but from individuality, and from strength built first. It's the Corbin 39. It may not be widely known, but this is a true blue water design, with a long record of offshore passages dating back to its first launch in 1979. Designer Marius Corbin set out to build a boat around 40 feet, strong enough to sail around the world, and honest in how it was put together. That philosophy stays with owners long after a decade of use. The hull is thick, solid fiberglass, reinforced where it matters. Structural fatigue is rarely an issue, and osmotic problems are far less common than on many lighter boats of the era. What truly makes it different is how it was sold. Most Corbin 39s left the yard as finished hulls and decks, with interiors completed by their owners. Only about 15 boats were factory finished. That means variation, but also owners who know their boats intimately, making long-term maintenance far more manageable. The trade-off is variability. Buyers simply need to evaluate workmanship carefully. The flush deck is often misunderstood. When properly set up with good handholds, it offers secure, unobstructed movement offshore. Because many boats are owner-built, systems may look messy at first. But once sorted, everything is accessible. There are no hidden mysteries behind decorative panels. Prices reflect that individuality. Well-finished Corbin 39s typically trade between $60,000 and $80,000, and when cared for, they hold value well. Owning one is like owning an old Jeep. Rugged, honest, and something you can keep going with basic tools, as long as you stay involved and understand the machine. None of these boats is perfect, but each one stays easy in a different way. Comfort, durability, forgiveness, predictability, or honest simplicity. The real mistake isn't choosing the wrong boat. It's choosing a design that quietly asks more from you every year. If your goal is lower stress, not more upgrades, we have a video breaks down what actually makes a sailboat low stress for you. You'll find it right here.